Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Gemini May 2025 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant. Well, I must say I've got a great deck for you this month. Now, I think I've had it for well over 20 years. I could have got it around about the year 2000, early maybe 2004, 2005, something like that. It's called Archeon. The imagery in it is very subtle. It's very dreamlike. It's almost as if there is a mist or a veil surrounding it. But nevertheless, we will draw that veil back during this because this is going to require us to look at this and to interpret it with our souls and not with our minds. Now, as a clairvoyant, you know that I do provide clairvoyant readings to people, just like you, from wherever you happen to live in the world, over Apple FaceTime or Microsoft Teams or Google Meet. And the details of that, if you're interested or curious, are in the description below. They go for about 90 minutes. Now, I charge for those. I have to. I've got expenses like everybody else. But there's another thing which I do provide for free. That clairvoyant reading, incidentally, goes for about an hour and a half, sometimes a bit longer. There's another gift, which is the gift of healing, which I provide for free. And it goes for about 3/4 of an hour to an hour. And in that, it is me who is the fiber optic cable, if you like, from which the comfort and healing from the beloved comes through to you. If you have some emotional or physical problem, you might be at your wit's end, just don't know where to turn. There could be issues with business, there could be issues with relationships. Who knows? It's pretty well open slather. The thing is this, though, and I've been doing it for over 40 years, and the thing is that I can't get anything in return for it, you see. That's been made quite clear to me through my soul. I must provide it to people who request it, and I can't get anything in return for it. So if you say that, look, if you're doing it for free, it can't be any good, well, nothing could be further from the truth. I'm doing it for free because I can't get anything for it, and I have to do it. It's my sole duty. Now, there are no video advertisements. The details of that are in the description as well. Now, there are no video advertisements breaking their way into this content, and so you get to enjoy the experience direct. Let's see what there is in store for you. Shall we? Why don't you come and see first the Knight of Swords. 7 of Swords. Beautiful paintings in this. Oh, I haven't used this for so long. The Hierophant. Well, I say, Hierophant. Here is the 10 of Swords. To do with things with your past, I would say, with these other swords around, Knight, 7 and 10 of Swords. And the Herald of Wands. So many things going on in that very bright mind of yours, you see. Now, why don't you come and sit down here next to me? I'll also bring the camera around so everybody else can see. And together we shall pull back the veil on these cards and see what they have to say. All the cosmic energies swirl, and I'll do the reading for you. Great set of cards here. Now, this is right into the center of it, which I think is referring to a renewal within you, an understanding of just how important you are. And that is being put right in the center because there are some self-doubts here and there's moving on here. But you are in blazing beauty and success and achievement and wonderful. That wonderful Gemini mind of yours comes to the fourth. Let me have a look at this one first and see what there is here. Now, traditionally, this is said to be ruled by Taurus, this card. However, this person here, I am very much getting... Look, I'm not a religious person as such, but I do enjoy religious and sacred texts from around the world. There is a book called the Book of Ezekiel, which is in the Jewish Bible and the Christian Old Testament. And in chapter 1 of the book of Ezekiel, the prophet Ezekiel had a religious experience, and he recounts that he saw coming out of a storm in the desert 4 living creatures that looked like humans, except on their head they had 4 faces. And at the front was the face of a human, at the right was the face of a lion, at the left was the face of a bull, and at the back was the face of an eagle. Now, it just so happens that those things, the face of the human, that refers to the fixed sign of air, your element, being Aquarius. The bull, of course, the fixed sign of earth, the lion, the fixed sign of fire in astrology, and at the back, the eagle refers to Scorpio, the fixed sign of water, because Scorpio has three forms: the scorpion, the snake, and in its spiritual sense, that of the eagle. So what this person here is, I think, for me, I find those four things, those four aspects. Taurus, the bull, is symbolic of earth, of matter, the physical. The lion represents the element of fire, the capacity for your intuition, willpower, and dynamism. The human, of course, represents air, the mental, spiritual plane, and the eagle represents the highest transformation and is connected with the element of water, which is the realm of the emotions. Now, this Hierophant has, I think, united all of these elements in himself and has brought them now to full expression. In a sense, he is the awakened one, the fulfilled and the enlightened. He is a true spiritual master, one who acts as the go-between between the divine and you. In a sense, he is the spirit made flesh, or the final stage of human development, in which the human is united with the godly. Now, this is unmistakably giving me the message for you that within your flesh, deep within the center of your being, is the undefeated, waiting, longing, the all-knowing. Deep within your flesh is the ready, the able, the perfect. Within you, waiting its turn to emerge piece by piece with the dawn of every former test or trial or hurdle or darkness, is now the next unfolding, the great unfurling of wings, the reforged backbone within you, a true child of light. Maybe think about trees for a moment. Think of trees and how simply they let go, let fall the riches of a season. How, without grief, it seems, they can let go and go deep into their roots for renewal and sleep. Well, imitate, copy the trees. Learn to lose in order to recover. And remember that nothing stays the same for long, certainly not pain or psychic pain. Sit these things out and let them all pass, because they will. I think that this is a time where you will be reshaping your life. Reshaping life. Now, people who say, or can say, that they have never understood a thing about life, they have never felt its breath, its heartbeat, however much they have seen or done. They look on it as a lump of raw material that needs to be processed by them, to be improved by their touch. But life is never a material, a substance to be moulded. If you want to know, life is the principle of self-renewal. It is constantly renewing and remaking and changing and transfiguring itself. And sometimes, and I know it can be the case with you, and I'm looking at this card here and this card here, which I'll get to, this is telling you that, see, sometimes here and here, we might think that we are broken, but remember, the beloved uses broken things. It takes a broken soil to produce a crop, broken clouds to give rain, broken grain to give bread, broken bread to give strength. It is the broken jar that gives forth perfume. Now, I'm going to spend some time on this one and this one. This thing here is the big diagonal. These can be disposed of reasonably quickly, but I want to look at this Seven of Swords that's here. Now let's have a look at it. Here the raven has stolen the sun and the moon, and it is as if the sun and the moon in your mind, because this is swords, have been stolen from you. Now this is the moon ruling the third decan of Aquarius, which is the 9th to the 18th of February. Now the emotions of the moon cloud the intellectual qualities of Aquarius here. And so Aquarius is kind of weakened, and this can give you a lack of clarity. So much so that, I find it hard to believe, but nevertheless, you could be feeling, for a moment, ineffectual. You might be procrastinating or just doing enough to get by, working beneath your own standards, being discouraged by things, having negative expectations. Now, in a sense, and I'll draw on the planets here to give me some inspiration here. The planet Neptune might say, everything seems to be clouded by a film or veil. I just don't know what I really want. Or Venus might say, but it's just too good to be true. Mars could say, I haven't the energy, there's no time, or I'm already too old. Jupiter may say, that's much too good at once. I could never cope with so much success. Mercury might be saying, but I just can't get my points across properly, and Saturn will chime in with, it's simply too much trouble and it takes too long. Well, these literally destructive thoughts, they don't need to be taken seriously by you. You need and must now take and use the special gifts and talents that have been given to you without letting anybody get in the way. Because the reality around you is a lot different to your own feelings or thoughts about it. And I think what's going to happen is that you're going to look back here and you're going to go, oh, look, I had a period of self-doubt, and difficulties looked like they were insurmountable, but I'm laughing about that now. Maybe there's some subconscious doubts that are dominating. Your mind might be distracted at a time that you need it to be focused. Now, it is the case, as you will yourself have observed, then that when people don't really understand what has happened, they'll assume the worst long before they have to. It's a little bit like when people are afraid of the dark. Often it's not the darkness they are afraid of, it's the fact that they don't know what's in it. And because they can't see, because they're not sure, they start to imagine that there are more sinister, threatening things afoot than there just are in fact. There's another interesting thing, I think, to bear in mind at this time. when you doubt your talents or you're not putting them to good use. And that's when you don't think you're worth much. You see, when you don't think that you're worth much, you can find ways to make your world small. You don't allow yourself to hope because you've already accepted failure. And this pattern of thinking often determines the outcome of your most important choices. But the reality is, as you know, that doubt and confidence are both acts of faith. They are both predictions of your capabilities. Now, you either tell yourself that you can or that you can't. And these beliefs are a self-fulfilling prophecy because you validate your doubts by giving up just as much as you strengthen yourself by refusing to give in. Now, of course, the only way to break this cycle is to have this courage to understand what this being's energy is saying to you. You have it all within you. It is coming to the surface now. Ignore doubts and risk failure. Take action. You can always take another action if one action doesn't work out. You can always make another decision if one decision doesn't work out. It's not the end of the world. It's nothing. You have to try to achieve something that is unachievable, is what this is saying. This is the best recipe for confidence. And confidence is how you start giving yourself permission to take up more space in the world, to want more for yourself, and to know that you deserve it. Now, I think that you would agree with me that the ideal situation for a man or a woman to die in is to have family members praying with them as they cross over. Now imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed are the ghosts of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, and that you, for whatever reason, you never went after that dream. You never lent in for that kiss. You never said those words. You never used those gifts. And imagine, if you will, that there they are, those ghosts, standing around your being, looking at you with large, angry eyes and saying, "We came to you, and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with your body forever." And imagine, if you will, what love, what words, what gifts will die with you, their own unholy miscarriage in your bodily death. Do you know, the greatest wealth does not lie in the oil fields of the Middle East, nor in the gold mines of Australia. The greatest wealth lies in the cemeteries. The greatness we have never seen, the joy never passed on, the words of sweet love never spoken, the talents, large or small, never actualized. Now, there was another swords card hanging around that made up this diagonal. It's just 10. And in somewhat of a traditional manner, I suppose, the There are the 10 swords going into it. Now, a lot of people are frightened of this particular card, but this energy, it's not the card, it's the energy which is important. And I think that the energy here is actually saying to you, look, and it's probably got a lot to do with this 7 that we just looked at as well. There is a need for you to acknowledge that when your past is hurting you, to just eliminate that hurt from your thoughts, because your thoughts give rise to feelings which give rise to actions, and your whole world, everything out there, is what you think it is. What you think your life is what it is. And the most powerful words that you will ever hear, and they'll go into your brain and code it, are the words that you speak to yourself. And remember that the thoughts are pictures that you paint in your own mind, and then you put your own words around them. So with your thoughts, you should choose your thoughts each day in the same way that you choose what clothes you are going to wear. Now, here is someone who's just been absolutely, well, laid low as a result of negative thinking. This is the sun in Gemini. Gemini is a very polarizing, it's the third divine impulse coming into manifestation, where everything splits apart and the sun energy gets scattered. And so you end up with really unclear thinking, and you can also imagine the worst, and particularly about things to do with your past. Now, this is saying that the time has come to lay that baggage down and leave behind all the struggling and the striving. You are going to be set free as you start now, understanding this, to journey forward into a balanced, healthy, and rewarding future. You know, at times, and this is inevitable probably for everybody, at times it may seem to you as though you and your past are one. Sometimes you could fail to differentiate between what has happened to you and who you are today. If you have a hard time getting beyond that damaging mindset, then this is giving you encouragement. You are not your past. Although you are changed and shaped by past experiences, who you were yesterday does not control the person you are today or the person you have the potential to be tomorrow. Now, this is also saying very clearly that if you have ever felt hopeless, just hang on, let it pass. The night you are enduring may seem long, but there is joy coming in the morning. Incredible changes are going to take place in your life as you begin to let go of your past and get the renewal in your present. The other thing that this is saying quite clearly is that one of the great things about life is that you can start over. Now, with the beloved, there are always new beginnings and second chances. The beloved specializes in giving you fresh starts. Now, while you might feel overwhelmed at times and held back by painful recollections or haunting fears, even things like remorse or shame or guilt, the power of the beloved, as said here, in your life, that the beloved is not limited by what took place in your past. Do you understand that? When you are governed and manipulated by your painful memories, you allow your past to control your future. But I guess if you choose to give the beloved the controls, it will do amazing things with the rest of your life. And that can start now. You can start now and have a brand new ending. There's something else that this is saying really strongly, and it is this, that just let things go. Letting go means to come to the realization that some people are part of your history, but they are not part of your destiny. Look, it happens to everyone as they grow up. You find out who you are and what you want, and then you realize that the people you've known forever don't see things the way you do. So keep the wonderful memories, but find yourself moving on. But you must make a decision that you're going to move on. It doesn't just happen automatically. You'll have to rise up and say, I don't care how hard this is, because I am strong. I don't care how disappointed I was. I will not let this get the best of me, because I am moving on with my life. And just finally, with respect to this, look, most things, virtually everything can be fixed. Things can be fixed. But many times, relationships between people cannot be fixed because they should not be fixed. It's as if you are aboard a ship about to set sail, and the other person has gone inland to go and work down a mine shaft, or they're boarding a different ship, and you just can't be with each other anymore because you shouldn't be. But this process of renewal shows itself virtually immediately, because here you have this woman here who is grasping the fire. And I think Leo and Cancer could be important to you. You'll be swift and strong, probably quite impulsive, generous with a sense of humor, I think. There's an intensity to your character. May well be a blossoming love, a lot of intuitive creativity, and you are now coming out of the darkness and into light. This energy personifies the mastery of intuitive creativity. All your senses are geared towards being used for creative purposes, I think. You'll trust your intuition, and you may well surprise others with your original ideas and solutions. Nothing's going to be able to slow you down or limit this creative flow. The blazing fire is going to keep you in motion. The other thing is that this represents a turning point when things have been going badly for you. And you must use your talents, your gifts, your energy and enthusiasm to move on to better things with the same confidence that this woman has here. This is really reminding you to re-engage in life and to be ready to tackle any challenges that could be coming your way, because you will overcome them. This is saying now is the time. Have a lust for life. Be generous and be funny. You have all you need, so don't let yourself be contained. Don't let yourself be slowed down. Life is prepared to receive you, and trust your boundless creative potentials and say to yourself, I love life and life loves me. Now, you're also going to have a lot of quick fire thoughts, I think, tumbling. It was not surprising with you, is it? Tumbling over themselves. Look at this person. You will not be tolerating any opposition. Aquarius and Capricorn are prominent here, I think. Cutting through old entanglements, I see. Becoming free now of limited ideas and models. And you're getting a clear perception as to what's actually going on. You'll be quite intellectual, full of ideas and plans, very clever. And this is also reminding you, just as this major energy here in this 7 did, that sometimes problems can appear to be insurmountable to you because of old, limiting belief systems and beliefs. For example, I am weak. I am dependent. or if I assert myself, I will be punished, or I am basically clumsy. Now, maybe in some past situation, probably in your childhood, look, those ideas got programmed into you. Well, now it's time for a software upgrade because your reality is very different. You don't fall into situations accidentally, by the way, but you create them around yourself based on your beliefs about reality. Now, if you closely examine yourself, look to see what are those things that were programmed into me, particularly from childhood, that just don't serve me anymore. Let me just understand that once I see them, I can say, they weren't normal, I was a kid, I am no longer dependent, I am a grown-up. So free yourself from whatever limits your mind and spirit. And be sure that you express your ideas and plans in a way that other people will understand. And if it's possible, accept their opinions humbly. See, it just might be that your thinking could be way ahead of its time. However, you can adjust to make your vision workable in the present without giving up anything. So ask yourself, what beliefs, feelings, relationships, or programmed ideas are limiting you, and just throw the disinfectant on them. Say to yourself, my creative possibilities have no limits. I deserve success. I am enough. I am lovable. I'm important. I matter. What a great set of cards. Made so much better for you. Well, I told you that the artwork on those cards was really beautiful, didn't I? I thought that was great. It's going to be a fantastic month for you. And I really enjoyed your company during that reading. Now, of course, unless I see you in the meantime, either for a clairvoyant reading or for a healing, then I'll see you here again next month. And until then, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.